নিজৰ সংস্কৃতিক ৰক্ষণাবেক্ষণ দি কমিউনিটিক আগুৱাই লৈ যোৱাৰ দায়িত্বটো সকলোৰে আছে।
My name is Fami Mushari. I was born in Dimapur, Nagaland. I've done my bachelor's in English from Cotton University, and I've done my master's as well in English from Hyderabad Central University. I have worked briefly as a guest faculty in a government college. My hobbies include reading, writing, and cooking as well. And my father worked in the CRPF as an inspector ministerial, and my mother is a homemaker.
What is the meaning of the term, Fami?
Sir, it means the lotus flower in Bodo language.
Okay. So you have worked as assistant professor, right?
Yes, sir.
In which college?
Sir, Bijni College.
Bijni College. And you have also qualified UGC NET, right?
Yes, sir.
Assistant professor is a very lucrative job from my perspective, right?
Yes, sir.
Salary is also good.
Yes.
And you can also work for the society. Then why do you want to join civil services?
Sir, the main motive behind aspiring for a career in the civil services is, I believe, as a civil servant, I will have access to a position of authority. There will be resources, manpower, and intergovernmental as well as non-governmental organizations that I can work with to implement various developmental policies at the grassroots, as well as policy making in the highest level, if I can reach that.
But you can impact more in the grassroots level through this profession.
Yes, sir.
Rather than through civil administration.
Sir, yes. In my brief experience, I only taught for 3 months. I noticed since I taught students who were in their bachelor's or master's, in my interactions with them, I found many had issues that are very fundamental, like they did not have access to enough healthcare, or education was lagging. The quality of education was very poor. They could not even though they were students of English major, they could not talk in English or understand it for that matter. And then and there were financial issues. The Nijat Moina scheme that has come about is very instrumental, I think, especially for female students. So I felt if I could work at that level where I could impact their lives from their childhood, let's say from the ICDS level, Anganwadi level, then maybe they would not have to face such problems when they grow up.
So, Fami, if given opportunity, suppose you are given an opportunity, which department would you like to restructure or bring a change? And how would you like to bring the change?
So, department within the
state government, Assam.
Sir, I think although the departments are working well now, and with the community outreach programs that are going on, I believe, sir, the department that deals with welfare of tribals, I think, especially in dispensation of scholarships, I think what happens is scholarships are not delivered in a timely manner, and students often have to run from pillar to post to know about, even though it's online now, but it's delayed most of the time. So I would like to restructure scholarships.
So you worked in college?
Yes, sir.
So but tell me some problems in the education sector according to you.
Sir, the education sector has come a long way, especially with the implementation of the NEP.
The NEP has been implemented completely?
Sir, it is ongoing. There are introduction of a variety of courses. There's MOOCs, there's SEC, DEC, and all of that. And AI has been introduced. And the college I worked in is very provincial. It's a semi-urban place. So unless there had been NEP, the students would not have access to, digital education, smart class.
Asking about problems. What you feel as since you worked in the education sector for how many months?
For 3 months.
Okay.
So problem.
What did you feel? What is lacking and what could be done?
Sir, I think outreach to the students. Although the courses are there, students are reluctant first to avail those opportunities. Mostly it's from a lack of self-confidence. They do not think they are capable enough to learn new things. And sir, I think teacher-student ratio is lagging in many colleges. The one where I taught, sometimes we had to teach 200 students. It's not possible for one professor to manage that much. And sir, funding also, since projects are there, but obtaining funding for, say, a smart class or other infrastructure sometimes takes a lot of time.
So you are from visiting, and then tell me one thing: what is the difference between six schedules areas of Dima Hasaw and Karbi Anglong and BTC and BTR? There's a difference.
Yes, as a BTR में there are more districts. We have 5 districts as of now, and BTR has through the Borderland BTR Accord, which was signed in 2020, we have more, I can say, legislative and executive powers. And in BTR, I think 34 subjects have been transferred to the BTC Council. And Dima Hasaw and Karbi Anglong, they are one district, and they have little lesser powers than the BTR.
So suppose think of it as I am a tourist who is visiting Assam, and I am visiting Bijni.
Yes.
You're from Bijni, right?
Sir, I'm from
Chirang.
Chirang, but it's nearby, yeah, same.
Suppose Chirang. Or I am visiting. You want me to visit? Suppose as an officer, you are in the tourism department, so you want me to visit the PTR. Tell me why should I visit and how? Why should I remember it? Tell me something as a tourist. Out from outside of Assam. I'm new to the Assam. New to Assam. New to Northeast.
Sir, the main attraction of BTR or Chirang in general, I would say, is the natural beauty. There are many national parks. There is Manas National Park. There is Raimona. There are upcoming national parks, the Sikana Jahula, which is on the India and Bhutan border. And sir, you'd be able to see a variety of species like rhinos and the golden langur, which is also the symbol of BTR. Plus, there are the tribal culture, Boros. There are multiple tribes which you would be able to experience, which you can only get, I think, in the Northeast as a tourist.
Suppose as an officer, for example, as an officer, there are some, you are being asked, there's a thing called the border magistrate.
Border
Border magistrate, where there's a, suppose the border between Assam and Nagaland or like that. So to coordinate with the do licensing with the police and the people from both sides. Since you're suppose you are in BTC, the bordering area, which is Bhutan. So if there is a conflict, suppose there have been instances that some illegal people have stayed there. So a situation arises out of that. So you have to calm the people because people will get nervous. People tends to get nervous. They're common citizen.
Yes.
They're common innocent citizen living who likes to live in peace. So how will you handle such situation if a situation arises?
Sir,
You are given the task to maintain the law and order and peace and tranquility in the bordering area.
Sir, there are various steps that I can take. Firstly, would be to call enough manpower in case the situation gets out of hand. The law and order, the police would have to be on the site, and as a border magistrate, I think I would have to go into the conflict itself and invite leaders, whoever are the leaders from both sides, and try to parley for peace. And if it goes to extreme lengths, suppose there is guns involved, or there is violence involved, I would have to take strict action in that case.
Tell me 3 weaknesses in you, which you feel that will hamper you to act as a civil servant.
3 weaknesses.
3 weaknesses and 3 strengths.
Sir, can I begin with strengths?
Yeah.
Sir, I think I have a great sense of adaptability, which comes since my father was in the forces. I've moved around quite a lot. I've lived in, I think, almost 6 states until now. So I am very comfortable working with a large group of people. Multiculturalism is very natural to me, so I do not find it daunting to be posted in a rural area or an area where I am not familiar. Sir, I think I'm very resilient. I do not get nervous very easily, and I can hold my own in tough situations. And sir, determination, I feel preparing for the civil services has tested me in various ways. This is a very long process also. And sir, weaknesses, I would say sometimes procrastination, which will delay my action also. And second would be not sometimes I consider myself an empath, so I don't want to get too emotional when I am making a decision. Otherwise, it will not be rational or conducive in the long run. And the third would be, sir, I do have a fear of animals of sorts. So sometimes, if I am in the police, I will have to learn to work with police service dogs.
So what are your preferences? Because in this one I don't see the preferences.
Sir, ACS, APS, and then Assistant Accounts Officer.
So your preference goes like this. Why not EPS first? Because you seem very confident that your father is from uniform forces. Because people think with their who has people in the armed forces, but uniform services,
Yes, sir.
their children's used to prefer the uniform services.
Yes, sir, that is true. So the reason behind it is obviously the APS is a very coveted service, and in Assam, especially law and order is a very serious issue. But I want to work in public administration because the diversity that it offers, I'd be able to work in different departments, and at the highest level, I would be involved in policy making, which can bring systematic change that will last for a very long time.
Okay, so you said you want to bring some policies in this way, if and when required.
If I'm given the opportunity.
So, let's say in the last 10 years, given the policies of some government of India, just name one or two policies that you want to change or want to modify, or want to introduce any new scheme that you have aspired of.
Sir, I think both the state and central governments have, in the past 10 years, I think social welfare has taken the front seat in policy making. The one thing, I would not like to change a particular policy, but it would be to information gathering is somewhere that we lack. If I have to give an example, the PM Anya, the CM or the PM Anya Yojana, where we distribute food grains to families. Sometimes what happens because of a lack of documentation or unawareness, some people are very, very behind in education. They do not know that they have these welfare schemes that are meant for them. So maybe an agent in the ground from the government who can do a survey probably and make people aware about these schemes so that they can avail it. And sir, I think one scheme or issue that I want to work upon is youth welfare, especially in tribal areas. I have seen students, they don't suffer from a lack of intelligence, they suffer from a lack of confidence that they do not have. So they, even if the opportunities are right in front of them, they cannot avail it. So I would say personality building or counseling programs is something that I would like to focus on.
Okay. So you said that you don't want to be emotional when making decisions.
Yes, sir.
So let's assume a situation. You are in the labor welfare department or in the ministry or any other department. Someone has informed you that there is a child labor in your area of operation. So when you visited the site with the concerned officials or being a concerned official yourself, you see that the child is around, say, 17 and a half years. He has got a sick mother who is bedridden, has two young siblings who goes to school, and he's the sole breadwinner.
Hmm.
Okay. So if you take action legally, you will have to rescue the child. You have to send it to rehabilitation or at a rescue. Right? So for 1 week or so 10 days, whatever required, he will be out of work. Right. So in such a situation where he is the sole breadwinner of the family, if he goes out of work, how will his family survive? In that situation, what kind of action will you take?
Uh, Sir, taking note of the situation, uh, even though the child is the sole earner, I think I would have to take action and bring him out of that, because child labor is illegal, and I'm sure the person is not working in favorable conditions. It is surely harmful to his mental and physical health. So one solution that I can come up with is probably enrolling the child in a skill development program where the child can work part-time and earn as well as develop his skills, so that he doesn't have to work in horrible conditions. And as per the other family members, the mother, as I said, for the sick mother, I think there are various schemes where people, the Jan Arogya scheme, for example, so she can get treatment at that. The two children, the I think I would contact some NGOs that would love to take care of those.
Say in a remote place you are posted. There is no NGO, no any other thing. That children have to be transported, say 50, 60 kilometers from their home in the headquarters. In that situation, what do you do?
Sir, then it would not be conducive to transport them so far away, because then their safety and well-being comes into question. Sir, then maybe some way of financial. So I think the woman will qualify for the Orunodai scheme, if I'm not wrong, because
Orunodai is giving a mere amount.
mere is not enough.
1250 rupees.
Sir, maybe some community outreach program where some donations can come.
It will take time. He is a bread earner, but he gets some money daily. Say 100 rupees, 200 rupees. Let's say he earns 100 rupees daily, and with that 100 rupees, the four of them gets to eat their bread. We'll go to community outreach program will take time. We'll apply for some government scheme, it will take time. Right? What will you do with that time gap?
Sir, I think I would have to still focus on the skill development part and ensure that he gets a part-time job in a better condition.
Okay. Let's assume that someone has told you, ma'am, please leave the child. He's already 17 and a half years. 4 or 5 months is left. Take it as adult 18 years old. So will you accept it offer?
Sir, if we go by the procedure, anything under 18 is illegal, but
Anything under 18 is not
really
completely
illegal. Yes, they can work from the age of 16. They can work. Sir, maybe I would have to see the place of work, the employer, and what they're willing to offer, and then maybe I will take a decision.
If the employment condition is good, he's working say in a hotel, not as a cook or anything, just he cleans the table. The employer is providing him with extra books, taking care of his education or his siblings' education. Then will you accept it?
Sir, I think in that case it's a favorable situation for the child in the long run.
Okay. One more situation question. Have you heard about building and other construction welfare site? Construction Workers Welfare and BOCW Act. Have you heard about it?
Sir, I am not aware of it. But
So one more question from my side. You said that you want to have some authoritative politicians, right? So you can make policy on that. Our 2025 budget is coming up, right? 25-26 budget is coming up. Say government of Assam has said that can we take this 100 rupees as our state budget and distribute it even or in any way that you like. So just giving a fair distribution of 100 rupees that you think, say 10 rupees is required in education, 20 rupees is required in health. What is your breakup for this?
sir, out of the 100 rupees, I think I would spend around 20 on education, because it's a very important sector, and the more we invest, the more it is better for our future
What
generations.
is the percentage of GDP that we invest in education right now?
Can I make a guess? Sir, around 6 or 7, somewhere around 6 or 7%. I'm not very sure about it.
And in higher education, what's the percent? Say out of 6%, how many percentage is spent in higher education or research activities?
I cannot give you a number.
Okay,
Sorry.
So you are giving 20 rupees to education. Rest the activities.
Sir, infrastructure, I would say 15 or so, because the works are already going on. We are in the middle of massive infrastructure projects, so the budget is already sidelined for that. And defense, border security, I would spend.
Defense, I'm talking about state budget. Okay. Let's skip the defense one because it is in the central government purpose.
Sir, and for welfare schemes, I would, in the same vein that it's happened in 2024, sir, I would like to give around 30 to welfare schemes, continuation of welfare schemes. Sir, for the rest amount, I would keep it. Sir, for cultural activities, I would like to spend 10 rupees out of that. And sir, the rest I would keep as miscellaneous too.
Just a minute. I have seen the meaning of it. I have changed from science stream to art stream.
Yes, sir.
Why? And your scores are also good and consistent.
Sir, initially I thought I wanted to be a doctor when I joined, but 2 years into the science stream, I always had a love for literature, and in my final year, I realized that I think I'm a better fit in the humanities, and if I would have continued in science, I would have been quite average.
So you changed to English.
Yes,
So you are teaching English in Disney College.
yes, sir.
So tell me something. What problem do you find in women education with respect to Assam?
Women's education.
Because I'm asking because most of the time when we see the results, class 10, the women are always ahead of boys maybe. But the moment we go up,
Yes, sir.
there's gets like the things get the parameters get below par.
Sir, some of the most important or the pressing issues I would say is high dropout rates. Women are after, like you said, higher education. So after the age of 18, many are married off, or there's early marriage. There's pregnancies also, which are involved with that, sir. And women are. There's also the impact of a patriarchal society where it's not encouraged in many families for women to be educated. The preference is given to the boys. Suppose in a poor family, if there are 2 children, one is a male, one is a female, when they have to make a decision, they can only support one child. They would most likely send the male child for higher education.
Have you heard of the scheme Nijut Moina Assam?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Sir, it's a scheme from the state government of Assam where women who enroll in higher education, so there is different, I think 10,000 if you enroll in class 11.
Only higher education?
Sir, from class 10 it starts. 10,000 if you enroll in class 11. After, once you enroll in graduation, you will get 12,500. And I think for masters or other programs, there is 15,000 per month.
What is the primary purpose of this scheme?
Sir, to encourage women and to help solve some of their financial constraints when it comes to enrolling in higher education.
So from me,
Yes, sir.
how is your Assamese?
Sir, I'm fluent.
You're fluent in Assamese?
Fluent, yes, sir.
Okay. গতিকে অসমীয়া ভাষাত সদ্যহতে কি ধ্ৰুপদী ভাষাৰ মৰ্যাদা দিয়া হ'ল ন?
Sir, মানে মই কনভাৰচেশ্যনেল এছামিজ জানো, কিন্তু যেতিয়া বেছিক ডিফিকাল্ট ৱৰ্ডছ আহিলে মই মানে অলপ কনফিউজ হৈ
Assamese
যাওঁ.
has been recently conferred with
Classical
classical
language.
language status, right?
Yes, sir.
So what are the criteria for being considered as a classical language?
So the criteria include the language should have its own script, and it should have a well-defined body of work, and the literature should be at least 1,500 or 2,000 years old.
Okay. Do we have such literature or something proof to comply with those criteria?
Sir, I think from the time of Shankardev and Madhavdev, there has a lot that.
Is this 2,000 years old?
Very new.
2,000 years old. I would have to say, I'm not sure if the Buranjis were written in Assamese or they were written, I
Do
think,
we have any archaeological evidences?
archaeological evidences, sir. I think the rock, there will be some inscriptions or,
Example?
but I cannot recall the name of the inscriptions, but I'm sure there are.
How complex inscriptions as
Uh,
Kanai Morocco on the earliest examples of the time. Then, what are the social implications of this classical linguistics? How this can help a society as a whole?
So first, it's a matter of pride for the people of Assam to get recognition, and as we can see, all indigenous languages, for that matter, are suffering from a lack of. There's a reduction in the number of speakers. Every language is suffering from that, and for preservation, if we preserve language, we can preserve our culture.
But we can preserve it anyway. How does it help?
So I think popularizing it, maybe with the grant of a classical language status, there can be more research done on it, and we can probably understand new avenues within our language that we were not familiar with before.
So we are celebrating Bhakha Gaurav. You know,
Yes,
you have heard.
yes.
Do you know from which date? We're currently celebrating November.
Yes. I think I'm not aware of the
You know,
exact date.
why the celebration?
Sir, because we got the classical language status.
Then what will be done? Any idea? Any just wild guess? What will be done? What is done in this Bhakha Gaurav? I'm 99% sure it is very difficult to know what is going on in the Bhakha Gaurav, but I just wanted to know if you can guess anything.
Sir, maybe a meeting of well-known writers of the language in this.
Have you one more thing I wanted to ask? What will you do about the job scenario in the BTC out of females? You told me that once you told me that the people in the education sector told me that they get discouraged and they don't get motivated. Suppose you're posted in BTC area, BTC council only as an assistant commissioner. What would you do to encourage, especially the females,
Sir, I think specific.
so that they specifically females, so that they take up books, they study, they go for higher education. The people who are currently, suppose 100 people are doing, suppose in a village of 10,000 people, 100 people, only 5% are doing graduation. How will you increase it to 10%? And 2% is doing post graduation. How will you increase it to 5%?
So the number one step I would take is to launch a career guidance or mentorship program, which can be done with the help of the community. I'm sure there must be good examples, role models. If the children, females, they get to interact with role models of women from the community who have made it.
Do you have any?
Yes, sir. I think Boro women have come a long way. We have in diverse fields. We have Jamuna Boro, who's doing great work in boxing. There's Rajni Bosmatari, who's a celebrated filmmaker. Then, sir, civil servants. There are many civil servants from the Boro community, and in terms of fashion, also there are many women who have opened their own boutiques. And in the hospitality industry, also women are taking up jobs in the airlines or hotel management.
So, what will you do? Let's get back to again to the question.
So, career counseling, number one, and sir, I think the first step would be data collection from the institutes and a continued collaboration with the leaders of the.
My actually purpose is that is a rural area. So you are spending, suppose a rural area of education is cheaper than the city. Suppose you are spending 500 rupees or 1000 rupees a month. And then the year you are spending around 12,000 or round of traveling and all that, you take it 2000. So spending 2000 rupees without any output, why would someone spend? If there is, suppose if there is no job.
Yes, yes, sir.
So Suppose they are spending 20,000, 1,000 per month or traveling and ticket to 2,000 per month is going. At the end of the day, suppose they are working for 10 months of school. So 20,000 they are spending a year. So after spending 20,000, if somebody asks you, okay, I will send my daughter, I will spend 20,000 a year. What after that?
Uh,
Major question is that.
So there can be two things. Either the children will have to travel outside for work opportunities, or in the area only we can open up entrepreneurship opportunities for the women. Specifically, I think since it's a rural area, handicrafts plus the garments that local garments, whatever the tribe or
Have you
the
heard of the scheme Chief Minister's Atmanirbhar Samsan?
yes, sir.
What is it?
Sir, Atmanirbhar, as the word suggests, a self-employment, self-employment generation in general. So it's a big push to entrepreneurship, and
How?
sir, there are many ways. Either to
No,
loan,
the scheme. Yeah. No,
sir.
specifically the scheme.
Sir, I cannot recall the specific numbers.
Because now CM Triple 2.0 will be launched soon. So that is why I'm asking. Since you told about entrepreneurship, that is why I'm asking. There's a major push, and what is the push? This is absolutely right that this is one of the major push. But what is the push?
Two things come to mind. First, there is training. There's incubation centers where ideas can be nourished, and second is loans or grants.
Yeah, of course, it's loans and grants. But what is the amount and what is specifically? Do you know specifically about what the features of the scheme?
Sir, I cannot recall the specific
Because
numbers.
this scheme is primarily for rural areas, mostly for taking into consideration the rural areas only. Okay.
And one more question. So you are aware of Boro to Hava, I guess,
Yes, sir.
right? When is it taking place in this year? And the value?
Sir, I'm not aware of the time and day.
Who is presiding over this year?
Sir, sorry, I cannot give
You
an
belong to Boro community, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know the hierarchy of Assam civil service since it's a first preference? Hierarchy. Tell me in what post you will join? Suppose you got selected for some civil service. In what post you will join?
Sir, since the junior grade 2, I think that's the notification, and then junior grade, then senior grade 2, senior grade, then selection grade, then secretary to the government of Assam, then commissioner and secretary to the government of
But that
Assam.
is there is a difference between in civil service. The grade has nothing to do with the posting. Grade has nothing to do with the posting. You will see there DCs, the district commissioners, where it is written that secretary to government of in the rank of secretary to government of Assam. In some DCs, there nothing is written, just district commissioners. Do you have any idea? Have you ever visited a district commissioner's office?
Yes, sir, for some work to get
So have
some.
you seen the designations?
Yes, sir, but right now I can only remember. Sir, I know it goes from like ADC, DC, but the subse lower grade I cannot recall at the moment.
Poshan. Have you heard about Poshan? There is a Poshan mark, is it? You mentioned, I don't know, I recall you mentioned something about ICDS or
Yes, PM Poshan
PM
scheme. Yes,
Poshan.
sir.
What's
Sir, the main aim of this is to uh, uplift or improve the nutrition levels among children, and this is done through the one of the measures would be the free lunch scheme that is in government schools and collaborative work with ICDS, and Anganawadis as well.
So you said about this education sector. So do you think language is a barrier in the development of our state?
The question is about a lack of one common language.
I'm not saying the one common language, Assam is a very diverse. But many people assume that English is a global language. And most of the people in Assam don't know English. Exactly assume that. So given the fact that we don't speak English, we don't speak Hindi as much, or than any other major language. So is it a factor for keeping Assam below par?
Sir, as you said, Assam is a very diverse place, and we cannot push for one language in education. So the solution would be a multilingual form of education. And with regards to how our students or workers would perform outside the boundaries of the Northeast, it would depend on their level of language skills, I think. And the most important thing would be to create opportunities within the state so that there would not be much out migration, where due to a lack of communication skills, we see workers are mostly employed in construction sites or other uh, menial works where they are not able to progress. So creating opportunities within the state, and all the while pushing for a multilingual form of education.
We are already pushing for a multilingual form of education. Right?
Yes, sir.
Can you say that if Assam goes for native language only education system, just like in China, France, Germany, will it help?
So education in the native language would be ideal, because then a lot of the since we have a significant tribal population, they would feel acknowledged and recognized, and a lot of issues of identity crisis would be solved. But we have to keep in mind the ground reality, since Hindi and English have become very important languages. They have been, but now since we are moving into globalization, and there is a big push for entrepreneurship also, it would require us to have knowledge of various languages to communicate with the outside, within outside our borders. So native language should be preserved and promoted, but there should also be a language course maybe where people can learn how to speak in other languages for their own benefit.
So which article in our constitution gives reservation on this native language and concepts?
So there are many articles. I think I can remember Article 46, then Article 20, Article 30 is for Article 30 is regarding educational institutions where languages or culture can be promoted.
Okay, one more thing I want to ask. What is sixth schedule? What's the sixth schedule of the Constitution?
Sir, the sixth schedule is enshrined in Article 244 and 275, where special provisions are made for states of Assam, Tripura, Manipur, and I think it's Mizoram and Meghalaya, if I believe. So for their cultural preservation, and some special provisions will be made for their development as well.
Any other sixth schedule? Can you name the sixth schedule areas other than Assam?
Sir, other than Assam, in Meghalaya, we have Garo Hills, Jaintia Hills. In Mizoram, we have the Lai Autonomous Council, the Chakma Autonomous Council as well.
What is the difference between fifth and sixth schedule?
Sir, I cannot recall it at the
You know
moment.
fifth schedule.
Sir,
Few more questions.
yes, sir.
So you said you're always reading, writing, cooking, right? Any book that you are reading currently?
So right now, since I'm busy with the interview preparation, I'm not reading anything currently.
Out of the book that you have read, any favorite book that you want to recommend?
Sir, there's a book by Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart, I would recommend.
What's the storyline? What's the deal?
Sir, the story goes, it's about a man from the Igbo tribe of Nigeria. That's the tribe the writer belongs to. And it's a story of how he is trying to escape the abusive nature that his father had. And in the journey of his escaping and becoming the opposite of his father, his life unravels in front of him, and instead of facing his fears, running away from your fears actually makes situations worse. So that's the basic story of this novel.
What about cooking? Any favorite dish?
Sir, I relish my mother's cooking, so anything she cooks is.
So it's not a hobby, right?
Sir, it is a hobby. I cook as well for myself and for my family members.
Okay, thanks.
One more thing, this is the first attempt.
Sir, second attempt.
In first attempt, what happened?
Sir, I couldn't make it through the prelims.
So you completed your graduation in 2021. Now it's 2024. You have done 3 months of time, 3 months of your teaching. Then in the gap,
Sir, I was coaching and preparing for this exam.
in 2021, you passed MA.
Yes, sir.
Then you did coaching.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Just wait for a couple of minutes outside.
Yes,
You'll
sir.
get it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Please. What do you think? How was your interview?
Sir, I could have improved on certain aspects.
See, I just want to mention a couple of points. Everything was good regarding you. I think you will sail through the interview. How was your mates?
Sir, I did my best. I wrote all the answers.
How was your essay?
Sir, essay, I think I wrote, but since it's very subjective, I cannot say how.
That is why I'm asking, because in most of the subjects, suppose in GS or GS2, the difference between the highest score and the lowest score will be around 30 marks or 20 marks, maybe less than that
Last year it was
average.
around 120 marks.
But in essay or English, what happens? The difference gets 150,
Exactly.
120. This is one paper where the difference gets escalated.
Yes,
That is
sir.
why I'm asking about essay.
Sir, I tried to be multidimensional in my answers, but the rest is up to.
Because the essays, because most of the GS paper will be checked, usually checked by officers or something. But essay paper is checked by basically some English professors or from
Academicians.
Guwahati academicians. So that is why you are given enough scope. Because in the rest of the GS paper, nobody is interested in language. They only want the answer. Nobody is interested in grammar. Well, you don't have time with so many questions.
Yes, sir.
But in essay, you have very less questions. You are given scope to write it. Write, you fill the paper,
Yes, sir.
fill it with content. That is why I'm asking, because sometimes you may offend the examiner. Sometimes
Yes,
you will
sir.
make you feel, and that is why people sometimes score very high marks
Yes, sir.
or very low.
Yes, sir.
In essay, there is a lots of scope. Okay,
So during the course of the interview, at the start, you were very enthusiastic and very confident, but towards the end, your this energy level dropped down. Huh? Don't do that. You might be grilled, right? But just maintain that enthusiasm level. Huh?
Yes.
Do not show that you are underconfident.
Yes.
You might not know something, but that doesn't mean that you are underconfident, right?
you have excellent communication skills.
Otherwise, rest are very nice.
Yeah, but I felt that we should learn more about the women's schemes, because being a female, there are high chances that they will ask for women-centric schemes, women-centric, most of the women-centric things. So you learn the departments related to women. There is social welfare has been renamed WCD and social justice, women, child development, and social justice. It has been renamed like that. There is a transformation department, transformation T&D department, transformation development. There are many changes. There is a concept of aspirational district.
Yes.
Have you heard?
Yes, sir. Aspirational district program.
Fine. So, if your mates is good, I think there is no point rejecting you. You will sail through the interview.
Thank you, sir.
We all
Just stay confident, huh?
Yes, sir.
Rest is
Because it's the first day, so there is a lot of jitters because
First day, second half day is okay. It's not first day, first interviews will be lengthy.
first day, first interview will be very lengthy.
Very lengthy. Maybe 1 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes.